Hey guys, how are we going today? I hope we're all having a lovely day. I'm back for an update on my makeup inventory. Now, before we get started, I would just like to say that terribly sorry. It's been a long time since I posted a video. I can't even remember the last time I sat down to film. The past few months have just been unbearable. So I've been having a good couple of weeks and I've been sitting down the past few days and updating my makeup inventory from last year's numbers. So last year I did a spreadsheet with all of the makeup I owned and was going to track through the year how I went, ups and downs, how everything was. This was actually a really accurate way to track everything and was absolutely fantastic. I thought I was going to have a hell of a problem with all of the numbers and all of the figures at the end of the year. But everything was pretty much spot on, which wasn't bad considering I was pretty half-assed with tracking everything for the last half of the year. But it was all pretty good. I have also been updating everything on my, complete spreadsheets, trying to track and see how everything was going. I think this one I was even worse with tracking. The products going out wasn't the problem. I was easily tracking all of those, but it was the products coming in that I had a lot of trouble keeping track of. I was trying to note them all here at the bottom and at the back, but towards the halfway point through last year, I had so many products coming in. It was just really difficult to keep track of it. But I sat down yesterday, the day before, can't remember when it was, spent a good couple of hours, checking everything off. Mostly everything was just, a few little bits and pieces here and there. Couple mascaras I used, couple I replaced, few foundations were out, few more came in. And then it was just pretty much tracking what was new, what I bought, which I could pretty much remember. You look and you see, oh yeah, all of those I bought this year. So it was easy to track. So I've gone through, added up all of my numbers, tracked how everything went. I was on a no-buy for last year, so, for the first 6 months of last year. And, I had the intention of using more makeup than I was going to buy last year, which I absolutely did not do. When I added up the number of products I have purchased and the the amount that I have spent, I was shocked. I have triple checked this because I thought I had made big mistakes. But I haven't. I have just gone overboard in the last year and spent way too much. And my problem areas, I know what they are. Well, my problem area, I have one area where I have spent not the most money. I think the most collectively out of all of the different sections, and it's lip products. And I have to say, lipstick is my happy place. Lipstick is my happy place. When I feel terrible, lipstick makes me feel better. And looking at everything that I had last year, a few of the videos that I filmed, including my top lipsticks, it kind of made me aware of where I had some gaps. And what lipsticks I would like different colors that I would like to try and different brands that I would like to try. So I kind of went a little bit overboard last year, but let's get straight into the numbers. So I went through, ticked everything off that I have used. I've created a new one of these spreadsheets with all of the products that I do have, but my printer's on the fritz, so I couldn't print it out to show you the differences, but I'm just going to go through the numbers anyway. I mean, you can definitely see where there are areas where I haven't used anything, areas where and these are the pages in particular I'm talking about, these are all my lip products. 2 entire pages of lip products. And I've used what? 5 things? And I've decluttered 4. I've bought in a hell of a lot more than that. So let's go through. I'm going to just, read everything out. If I'm feeling up for it, I might take some pictures of, where it's at now, so you can have a quick look. But on the good news, this year I had a total of, well, bad news first. I had a total of 50 products make their way into my life. But I had a total of 21 products that I used. There were 11 products that I decluttered or remade into other products. So I filmed a couple of, remaking products to make them work for you. I made a powder, a couple of powders and a bronzer. So yeah, 11 products that were decluttered or remade. I've used a total of 21 products. So of the products that I already had at the start of last year, there were 18, and 3 products that I had bought this year that I have used. Now I'm going to tell you straight up, those 3 products were mascaras. So aside from that, there was nothing else that I had bought in last year that I managed to finish, which indicates I've got a bit of a problem. So more makeup is coming in than is going out. This year I'm hoping to change that. I didn't really do any declutters last year. In fact, I think I had done one in the December of 2019. So there were only a handful of products that I got rid of last year because they just were not working, and there was one product that I passed along to my mum. Of those 50 products that I bought last year, 23 were lip products. Oh no, I didn't go through the numbers. Terrible, terrible me. So of the 21 products that I used last year, 3 were new products, which were the mascaras. Their cost came to $28. Of the remaining 18 products that I went through, their value was $289.22. So the total amount of products that I used last year was $301.22. Now that's not bad for 20 products. I mean, that's pretty reasonable. For the 50 products that I purchased, I spent $645.81, which was really, really quite shocking to me. I mean, they were just little bits and pieces that added up over a period of time. It's not like I sat down and put in a massive order of roughly $50 to Sephora or Priceline. It was just little bits and pieces that added up. Not all of those were purchased either, because I know that I did get a couple of gift cards through last year as well. But I can definitely see when I'm looking at my little purchases here, there's a lot of, there are a couple here where I did a bit of a haul there, and I did another, haul there, which I know exactly what they are. There were a couple of ColourPop orders that I put in. But there's all little ones down here, and all these ones down here are my lip products. And I can see, I've had, a few, 2 or 3 come in here, 8 come in here, which I know exactly what they were. A couple more come in here and a couple more come in here. And they were all products that I have gotten from, just occasionally. There was a Sephora collection, one of the Sephora favorites collection. That was 5 products right there. I had a gift voucher and I went and bought 4 3 lipsticks that I was really, really after. And there was one that I wanted that was the same as those. So I'm going to show you exactly which ones they were. They were the Maybelline Superstay Ink crayons. I got 3 of them, but there was one in particular that I couldn't get, and it was this one. So I went back and got that another day. And, you know, they were just, I'm grabbing them now, you know, just a couple of other little random ones that I wanted to try. You know, a couple of the pink for me, the mauve for me, and one that I've been after for ages. So it's not like I went and I bought $232.41 worth of lipsticks all in one place, because that is honestly how much I spent on lipstick last year. But not just lipstick, that also includes lip balms, lip masks, and lip scrubs. The Sephora pack that I got had 5 products in it. I've been through 2 lip balms this year, so I bought a pack from Sephora a couple of weeks ago that had a couple of lip balms in it, because I was down to having 3 lip balms. 1 at my desk, 1 in my car, 1 at my bedside. 2 of them are almost empty already, so obviously they don't count towards last year's empties, but they will count towards this year's. So to go through all of the numbers, I used 2 lipsticks last year. Now they were 2 liquid lipsticks, but I've had 10 come in. That's not too bad considering the variety that I have gotten and the different shades that I have that are different to others that I already own. It's not like I'm never going to use them. There are a lot of double ups of shades of different brands and different types of lip products that I already have that I will most likely only eventually use a couple of those. But all of the ones that I have gotten last year, they're all different. And I know I'm trying to justify it to myself, which makes it difficult. But I know for a fact there's not many lipsticks that I want at the moment. There's maybe 3. And I know that those 3 are very, very, very similar, if not the same, to ones that I already have at the moment. So I know I don't need them. I know how long it's taken me to get through the lipsticks that I have. Believe me, I do. I was focusing on this one lipstick last year and I still have not finished it. This lived in my handbag. It lived in my handbag and I was using it pretty much all year after I finished off the 2 liquid lipsticks that I had. I still didn't get through it. I don't know if I will keep that one this year. I'm thinking about doing a little bit of a declutter soon, just to get rid of products that I don't want. I have so many good expensive lip products that are just sitting there going unused because I'm trying to use up ones that I know I don't like. And I don't want to be doing that. By the time I get around to using my good ones, they'll all have expired. So my aim for this year is to get more use out of the good products that I have and the new products that I have purchased, and to move out products that I know I'm not going to use. But I'm going to keep them around for a little while longer because I can guarantee if I throw one out at this stage that I think I'm not going to use, I will have an occasion come up when I need that kind of lipstick. So I'm not just going to go throwing them all out just to end up replacing them all. I'm going to stick with the ones that I have at the moment and just see how I go. I want to make more thoughtful choices and decisions. Anyway, so 2 lipsticks out and 10 came in. I finished 2 lip glosses. Oh no, sorry, that's a fib. I used one, I decluttered one. It took me an entire year to use one of these Revolution lip glosses. An entire year. I threw it out yesterday because I had pulled the stopper out and it was just getting down to the bottom and it had goopy stuff in it. So I'm like, right, I'm not going to keep using that because that's disgusting. I have plenty of new lip glosses that I can use. So yeah. Also, 4 other lip products went out and 6 came in. So I used 2 lip products, I decluttered 2 lip products, and 6 came in. So that was 2 lip balms I know I used, and 2 lip pencils I got rid of because I don't use lip pencils. I don't use lip pencils, but I still have them. I have 4 at the moment. 1 I know I'm going to get rid of. I focused on it last year, but I'm just over it. 1 is absolutely the wrong shade for me, but I don't want to get rid of it because it's a Marc Jacobs one. But I know I'll probably never end up using it. So anyway, back to my numbers. I am waffling on today. We're only down here, so I'm going to try and get through this. The next part is a lot quicker because I know that I didn't go as overboard on many of the other products as I did on lip products. So that is my main problem. That's my focus for this year. I'm like, avoid buying new lip products. We have plenty. And I will try and go through and do a video in a couple of weeks where I show off everything that I have. Maybe go through some products that I'm not particularly fond of and get rid of them then, but I want to have a think about that first. So last year I had 3 highlighters make their way into my life, and 2 made their way out. So I used one and I decluttered another. I'm pretty sure the one that I decluttered was a liquid highlighter. Yes, it was an absolutely awful one from Revolution that came in almost like a lip gloss tube, and it was blue sparkly. I'm never going to use that, get rid of it. But one I did use. So the one highlighter I was focusing on last year, I did use. It was down to its last few little crumbly specks that had makeup brush hairs and everything all in it. So it was done. And now I know how long it takes me to use a highlighter. It took me an entire year to use a highlighter, but it was a very big pan. So I'm going to go through. I know what type of highlighters that I will be using this year and what types I won't. So I'm going to try and focus on keeping that in mind. I used 2 bronzers. Did I use 2 bronzers? I know I completely reused one bronzer, like completely used up one bronzer itself, and where was that? I have that. Yes, so I repressed 2 bronzers into one in a big pan. So I basically put 2 bronzers in, came out with one, but I'm fine with that. I didn't buy any bronzers this year, so I'm happy with that. I actually only have 2 bronzers at the moment, and I'm fine with that. I have a couple of contour palettes that I can use the darker shades as those in bronzers. No contours in or out this year, but I'm fine with that. I used one blush this year. Did I use one or did I declutter it? I decluttered it. I decluttered one blush and I bought 2. I can't remember exactly which 2. Maybe I only bought one. Oh no, I did. So I bought one and I finished 2. I can't remember. I'm looking at it now. I've got it written down. I've got 1 blush out, 2 in, but I'm pretty sure I only bought 1. So I'm not sure. I used 3 primers this year, which I'm pretty happy about. Primers was a big problem area of mine. Do I keep saying this year? I mean last year. Primers was a big issue of mine. I had more than I definitely needed. I ended up buying 3 primers at the end of 2019. I didn't even use them last year. I did not touch them. I opened them and I swatched them and that was it. I didn't use them. So 3 primers were out last year. None were in, which I'm happy about. 4 foundations were out last year. So I managed to make my way through 4 foundations, which, considering I barely left the house, I am really happy about. Actually, I think I might have used 5. I am pretty sure I did use 5. So I've got 4 marked down here, but one of them I have 2 written beside because I had it in 2 separate shades. I'm really happy I checked that number. So I had 5 foundations out, 5 foundations in. I used a total of $79 worth of foundation, but I only spent $61.95 on foundation last year. So I had made some more financially wise choices on foundations. I have probably 3 that I want to get rid of this at the moment because the shades are just terrible, and 3 of them are I purchased last year. Out of the 5 that I bought, 3 I want to work my way through. I'm happy with the formula on one of them, but I just need to get a better shade, and the formula on the other 2 I'm not the biggest fan of, so I'll know not to purchase those. But out of the 5 foundations that I brought, 2 of them, I love the colour. It's a perfect match for me, and I love the formula and how it wears on me. So, you know, once I make my way through a couple of the ones I want to get rid of, I'm just going to keep rebuying the ones that I found that I like. So that way I won't need to have 5 or 6 foundations in my drawer. I can just stick with 2 or 3. I did buy 2 concealers, but I didn't use any last year. But I am so close to finishing this one off, it's not funny. I was focusing on this one last year. It's gotten to the point where I need to pull out the stopper for it to get down in the bottom of it. I haven't been wearing it recently because I've been sticking more with powder foundation just because it's been so hot and humid here. I can't really wear liquid foundation in the middle of summer because I just sweat it off. So I had been trying not to buy anything, but I honestly thought I would use more concealer last year, but obviously wasn't leaving the house, so wasn't wearing as much makeup. If I had been leaving the house, I probably would have gone through that one and at least one of the other ones that I had in my drawer. But I'm quite happy with the 4 that I have. I ended up buying a Shape Tape one and a Colourpop one last year. So I'm really happy to try and give those a go and see what they're like. I would probably end up preferring using those 2 over the other 2 that I have in my drawer anyway. So once I get through them, give them a go, see how they work out, and then I would happily repurchase those again. So I went through 6 powders last year, which I'm really happy about. I bought 5, or I had 5 come into my life. One of those I ended up using as well. So out of the 5 that I bought, one of them ended up, you know, I went through that and I went through another 6 others. So, you know, there's a lot of the powders here. I actually did repress 2 or 3 of those together into one big powder, and I used that up. But I think there was only 2 of the original powders that I had from last year I still have, but all of the rest, they're gone, which I'm happy about. I used 1 setting spray. I didn't bring any in, and I only have 1 left, and there's not a lot left in that. So setting spray I used to have an issue with as well, and I managed to get it down to 2, and then last year I got it down to just this one. But I haven't been using setting spray this much this year as well. Maybe because I, have been steering clear of liquid foundation in summer. I haven't really needed to set it in winter. I'm not quite sure. I have been through 4 mascaras this year, which that's pretty average for me. I've bought 3, but out of those 3, 2 I've already been through. So at the moment, I've repurchased a new one this year, so I have 2 mascaras in my drawer at the moment. One I'm currently using, and then when I throw that one out, I'll have the second one which I'll use. I always try and keep 2 in my drawer just in case something happens, like if I get a sty or an eye infection. That way, once it's cleared up, I get rid of that old mascara and have a replacement right there when I need to use it. So that's my entire list. I went through everything on there. I've even added up the number of makeup items that I already have. One thing I didn't include was eyeshadows in this kind of section. I had a couple of singles come in. I had a Sephora one. I had some ColourPop singles, Super Shock shadows, that kind of thing. I did make 2 BYO palettes last year. I have a little one and I have a big one as well. So when I've added up all of my items, I have included this one and its 12 shadows as one item. This one and its 24 shadows as one item. So at the moment, I have a total of 158 items in my drawers on my desk sitting here with me. And the total value of that is $2,177.79. So that is, it would cost me to replace those items, or, that's as I'm buying things, what I'm paying for them. So it's a little more than I would have liked. As I mentioned, I would have liked it if I could have gotten through more lip products this year, but I'm becoming more and more aware of what type of products I am using and what types I'm not. And I'll know to focus on my problem areas this year. Now that I've looked at that, I'm like, I've bought in 50 pieces of makeup and it cost me nearly $650. I'm actually really, really shocked. I probably would have thought that it would have maybe cost me about $300 or $400. I had no idea it was going to be that expensive, but I know now. I can look at the numbers, I can look back through my spreadsheets and say, yes, I know exactly how much I spent on mascaras this year. And I know exactly how much I've spent on foundations this year. Like, I can see how much I've spent on lip products, and $233, roughly $233 is quite shocking, considering I used probably $30, maybe $40 worth of lip products this year. But that's how the cookie crumbles. If you have any questions, anything you would like to add, please feel free to comment down below. But until then, I'll talk to you next time.